Today on Cooking Crave, we are going to bring you a hearty chili recipe and a great homemade cornbread recipe. Good for those cold winter nights coming up. That's all coming up on Cooking Crave. Stay tuned. Hi, I'm Rhonda Fitterer.
And I'm Laverne Dede.
And what are we going to make today, Mom?
Well, we're going to start with a good hearty chili.
All right.
And then we're going to make a good cornbread recipe that was given to me by my sister Jo Hayden. And it's a recipe that, you know, the cornbread is just so moist and it keeps nicely. So if you, because it makes a 9 by 13 pan, you may not want to, or you may not be able to use it all at once. And the next day it's just as good as the day you made it fresh. So, but we're going to first start here with just putting our chili in, our hamburger into the kettle here to get that going.
Okay.
And I'm going to start with 1.5 pounds of hamburger. Okay. And you certainly can use, you know, a little bit more hamburger or whatever, but 1.5 pounds is about a good amount for this recipe. So I'm going to just kind of chop it up here a little bit and get that going. And then while this is cooking here, browning, we can start with our cornbread recipe.
Okay. And just speaking of chili, now that it's getting into hunting season, I know there's so many people that hunt and they make a deer chili as well. Okay. And you can certainly use different hamburger meats.
Absolutely. And you know, one thing great with chili, because you know of all the seasonings in there, like deer hamburger really doesn't even taste like deer hamburger in there because you have it so seasoned in there, and that, you know, makes a nice lean chili. And that, so just got that on. So while this is browning here, we're going to come over here for the cornbread recipe. Okay. It says to start with a cup of butter, and definitely use butter. Don't substitute butter. You know, the margarine for butter or whatever. You want to have the butter. Okay. And then we put in a cup of, you know, half and half, or you can use carnation milk if you don't have half and half on hand. Or even if you'd have cream, you know, full cream, you could put half cream and half milk, which would make your half and half. So whatever you have. So we're going to just pour this in this skillet here. And while we're watching our hamburger brown, we can just come over here and start heating this up. And you definitely want to heat this up. Don't put it in cold. That's part of the recipe getting, you know, it blends nicer and makes it a nice fluffy cornbread. Okay. So, all right, we've just about got our butter melted here and heated in with our half and half. And, you know, I did put it on my skillet, and I mean, the kettle on the stove, but you want to make sure you really watch it so it doesn't scorch. But another easy way would be is just to even put it in the microwave. Okay. And you can watch it. I mean, it will work just really nicely there that way also. So we've got the butter and milk all heated there. So I'm going to just put it in my mixing bowl here. And then we're going to add 2 beaten eggs. And you just have to beat them slightly. So if you just use your fork and mix that like that. And because the milk or in your half and half and butter is warm, you know, you want to mix it up good so the eggs don't, you know, cook up in that. Oh, okay. I didn't even think that they would even cook up, but they certainly could. Yes, it could. So now we're ready to add our dry ingredients. And it asks for a 3/4 cup sugar. Okay. And 1 cup of cornmeal. And then it asks for 2 cups Bisquick. Don't substitute flour for the Bisquick because that will not work well. It will not be a light, moist cornbread if you use flour. So it's 2 cups Bisquick. Okay, no substitutions. And then we have 1/2 teaspoon of salt and 1/2 teaspoon of soda. Okay. So we'll just put that ingredients in there, and I'll just get this mixed up, and And I'll have you generously spray the 9 by 13 pan. And the batter is, you know, moderately, it's not real thick and it's not real thin, so you can use a wire whisk or whatever, but you don't need to mix it up with an electric beater.
The batter will be a little bit lumpy. It's not going to be a smooth batter.
Right, it'll be just a slightly lumpy, but not, you know, the Bisquick really is a mixture that blends easily and it doesn't stay lumpy once added into you know, your liquid.
Okay.
So we're going to pour that in here. And this takes about 25 to 30 minutes again, depending upon your pan. And I would say in a glass pan, we're going to just put that on at 25 minutes.
Okay.
So we'll put that in the oven, and this way we'll be able to get our chili going. And while that's baking, so set that timer. Okay, and our hamburger is about browned. I like to add just a little bit of pepper, you know, for taste. We like a spicier chili, and again, you know, don't have to add, you know, the extra pepper if you don't want, because what we're going to do is we're going to add onions, and I chopped a fair-sized onion. It looks quite a bit, you know, when you got it in this bowl here, all chopped up, but I used a large onion.
Well, that definitely adds a good flavor to chili.
Absolutely. So you could just get that stirred up here. And I used a lean hamburger, and so it was a 98% lean hamburger, so that you don't have the grease and you don't have to drain your hamburger before you add your other ingredients.
I always like cooking with lean hamburger as well.
Yeah, it's a lot healthier for us. We need to be more health conscious with everything going on out there.
Sure.
And then what I do from here, I add a can of chili beans. And you put it all in there. You don't drain any of your liquids at all. And I use a can of dark red kidney beans. And I use a can of diced tomatoes.
And you can sub a little bit with the diced tomatoes. There's so many different flavors of diced tomatoes out there too. You can get a little bit spicier if you want to, just with the tomatoes themselves. Or if you do have younger kids and you don't want it to be as spicy, you can mild that down with just a regular diced tomato.
Yes, you know, you can always add a little bit more spice to it if you like.
Sure.
And then we're going to add 1 can of tomato sauce. That's an 8-ounce can of tomato sauce. And you know, if you have onions, you know, like I said here, this is the time of year you have plentiful onions, and you may even have some fresh tomatoes left that maybe you haven't used up. You could use some fresh tomatoes in here too, rather than, you know, a can of canned tomatoes.
Sure.
So we're getting that mixed up, and I add about 3 tablespoons of chili powder. And I buy my chili powder in bulk, so again, that's kind of the amount I estimate with this. Your packet of chili powder will have about 2 to 3 tablespoons of chili powder in it.
Okay. And chili is one of those foods that it's easy to kind of look what you have in your cupboards. You know, if you like mushrooms, which we're going to be putting in here in just a moment. I personally like a little bit of black olive in mine too.
Yeah,
little
that's
diced black
definitely
olive. So
very good.
kind of whatever you got in your kitchen, you
Yes,
can add.
Yeah, and again, that's right. A lot of these things are optional. We like green, a little bit of chopped green pepper, and I also did chop a small jalapeno pepper because we do like it spicy, and that is something that, you know, if you don't like it too spicy, I would eliminate the chili, you know, the jalapeno pepper.
Okay.
But that just really gives it a little extra spice there.
Also gives it a little bit of color as well.
Right. It makes it very nice, eye appealing. And we'll do, I just got a can of mushrooms here. This is just stems and pieces. You don't really need to, you know, have to have, you know, your nice fancy mushrooms or whatever. So, and with those mushrooms, you know, if you like them a little, you might want to chop them up if you don't like to see big mushrooms in there. So there it is. Now all it does, the bread has 20 minutes to bake yet, and our chili in about 20 minutes. We'll bring that to a, you know, heat it to boiling, and then we'll turn it down and simmer it for about 20 minutes. And it's something that doesn't have to be cooking a long time. You know, the flavors really blend together quite quickly. So
Okay.
and that, so we'll just get that to a boil, and I'll put the lid on it, and then we'll simmer it, and we'll just wait for that finished product. But already you can just see, I mean, you see the nice tomatoes and beans. It is a colorful dish.
It is.
And that, so, and if you like a thicker, you know, chili, go ahead and drain your mushrooms and that. But if you like a little thinner chili, I would keep, you know, all that liquid in there. So
Sure.
So I think we can just leave that simmer for a little bit and just sit back for a few moments while it's simmering and our bread is baking.
Sounds great.
Well, our timer is going off for our cornbread, so we should be able to put that off. And here, let me get my mitts and let's check out what the cornbread looks like.
Okay.
Oh, that looks done.
Yep, nice golden color there.
That is done. And that, you know, just to the touch there. Yep. I think that looks really good there. So let's come over and check our chili out.
All right.
It's been simmering a good 20 minutes here. Oh, that looks good.
And you can just, just all those ingredients that you put in there, you can just smell those spices just cooking up.
On a cold winter night, there's nothing that beats a good pot of chili.
That's
so
right.
So let's just bring that on over here now. And I'll have you pull that board out there. Okay. Right there, you know, you have a nice hearty bowl of chili and some delicious cornbread.
What more could you ask for?
Sounds good to me.
All right.
Okay.
And just as long as we're talking about some winter nights and holidays coming up,
oh, yes.
the workshop is a great place to pre-place your orders for. Okay. They have hams, right. smoked turkeys, and prime rib.
Oh, they have a fantastic prime rib that is just out of this world. So you do need to order beforehand, so Art knows how much to have in stock or whatever. So, but you know, Thanksgiving is just right around the corner, and having a good smoked turkey or just, ham or prime rib sounds good.
Well, it sounds like something we should cook up on the cooking show. So juice is flowing for that too.
Oh, well, I think we could handle that.
Okay. To get the recipes for our cornbread and chili, just go to Consolidated's website, www.ctctel.com. And for you to submit your recipes, also go to our website. We'd love to cook them for you. Thank you so much for joining us on Cooking Crave, and have a great day.
Yes, thank you.